So great to see you again. This is another tutorial. Today we're talking about frequency separation editing. So we'll get right in how to do it, and I will kind of tell you about the benefits of it as we go. So first of all, you need 2 duplicate layers of your background. So with your first duplicate, you are going to name it tone, and for your top layer, you're going to name it texture. And then you're going to take both those, you're going to put them into a fresh folder, and you're going to call that folder FS for frequency separation. Now you just hit the little drop down, these are neatly packed into their own group. You can go ahead and hide the texture layer. You're going to go to your tone layer. You're going to go up here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. 4.5 is the correct radius. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but basically what we're looking for is only seeing the skin tones and removing all of the texture from the image. So now we're left with this blurry image of our original image, and we're going to go up to texture, make texture visible, and now we're going to head over to image, apply image, and we're going to go to our tone layer, and we're going to ask it to subtract. So it's only going to take the difference between the tone and the texture layer. So anything that's tone gets removed and only the texture remains. And it's very important that you set your scale to 2 and your offset to 128. Those numbers are a mathematical equation to figure it all out, so don't concern yourself with those, just make sure it's punched in. Just make sure you put that in. So we're going to hit OK, and this looks like garbage, and this looks like garbage. So what we have to do is go to our texture layer and go down to linear light. And now what's going to happen, you can close this folder up now with both invisible. Now if you turn this on and off, your image should look the exact same as when you started. So that's what we want. We're going to go down to tone, we're going to go to lasso tool, and now lasso tool is right over here, looks like a little cowboy, and it's for freehand drawing. It's kind of nice when you don't need to be completely exact. I'd prefer the pen tool if you're cutting stuff out. So you want to set your feather to 20 pixels so everything just sort of blends together nicely. You're on your tone layer, and you go ahead and then you grab tones that you want to sort of blend together. And you need to be careful not to take massive chunks out, but you just want to do some small chunks. Now you can go back into your Gaussian blur right here, and then this is where the magic happens. So we can bring this up until our skin tones are smooth. I usually rock it at 20 pixels to start. I'm going to say OK. So 20 is our magic number right now. 20 feather, 20 blur. Now the cool thing is once you set your Gaussian blur once, you can hit Control Alt F, and that'll reapply the same filter that you just applied. So we're going to come out here. Oh, look what I did. I got some of the background. And then you can use your subtract and subtract with the lasso. So you're going to filter that. We're going to hop up here and smooth out this forehead here. Really nice. Let's get the nose. And now as you can see, all the pores are staying the same. So we're not removing any texture, we're just affecting the skin tone and smoothing out the tone of the skin. None of the depth or anything is really being majorly affected. So then we're going to come in and go over to our texture layer, and you can use clone stamp or spot healing tool. Here's your spot healing tool, that is J on the keyboard, or right here there's also clone stamp here, and clone stamp is S on the keyboard, or the little hand stamp type thing. Alright, so right on your texture layer, you want to make sure that sample all layers is turned off, and you just go over the areas of texture that you want to get rid of. So as you can see here, it's not affecting the skin tone in any way. It's not clone stamping skin tone. It's only clone stamping texture, which is a huge advantage, and you're a lot less likely to get a repeated pixel effect. So you can just go in here, retouch up these little blemishes, things like that. You can also use it for wrinkles. Just come in here, anything that you want rid of, you can get rid of on a texture level. So these little ear holes there, down here, like that, this, bye-bye, all of that. So, and then if you have major areas you want to get rid of in the texture, you can even use on this layer content aware fill, and you can get rid of major piece of texture. Same goes with the tone. You can actually affect the tone however you want. That way, the other cool thing is that if I only want to affect the tone, but I don't want to affect the pores, so say I wanted more contrast in the makeup and the contouring, but I don't want to add any contrast to my pores, I can make a contrast layer between the tone and the texture. And that way, I can play only with skin tone and not with the texture. If I put it above all the texture and everything, you'll see it makes the pores pop out more, and we don't want pores popping out. We want them to be subtle, and we want the tone to be affected. So that's another way to use it. We'll just go back to the basics, tone and texture, split apart. So now you'll see this folder here with our two frequencies. We've cleaned up the face and smoothed it out a ton. But here's where the magic really happens. You can dial in how much you want this effect to be. So I tend to overdo it and then scale it back in opacity. So I'd like to go to about an 85% opacity, and there is a nice smooth out that is realistic and retains all of the pores. So if we go back out to our wide view, you can see the face, smooth but still sharp. Now I might actually dial that down even more. Let's go to 75. There we go. There we go. Just keep that shape. Just keep the shape in the face. Very good. Very good. I like it. So now, I'm not going to show you right now, but I'd go all the way through every bit of skin and get all of the skin tone smoothed out, all the highlights rounded out, and all that fun stuff. So if you want to take your shots from good to amazing, definitely use frequency separation, and it's not just for portraits. I'm sure you'll find creative ways to use it. Alright, thanks for watching, and goodbye.